The 894th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Howdy ho, Degenerinos. Welcome to episode 894 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. That's dedicated to the Golden Pineapple, one of our longtime friends in the old Discord who loves Gumby's Uriel read. And Gumby said he was one of the guys whose line was better than you hoped for hopefully it hasn't happened by the time you heard this, Dana White's Contender Series, which is probably happening tonight when this episode
I think we're going to drop this Monday.
Okay, tomorrow night.
Yeah. You'll get this midday Monday.
That voice here, that's Daniel Gumby Vreeland. I am still Jeff, the Killbilly Fox. We've got lots and lots of episodes to do this week. We're doing 7, so that's why I'm not sure what day it is or what episode we're doing or anything like that, because we're busy boys. You're getting extra this week because you're not getting as much next week, because the MMA gods have pounded the schedule with events this coming week, and then heading up to the Labor Day weekend is going to be quiet. So there you go. We got Road to UFC Shanghai. We both forgot about it. Then Gumby remembered just in time for us to cover it. So we're going to do 2 episodes on that. Starting with today's, we're going to do the heavier weight classes today. Today we've got it's semifinal round for these tournaments. We have got the featherweight semifinals. We got the lightweight semifinals, and then we have a 170-pound feature fight on the card. This is going down this coming Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern start time, because they are in Shanghai Indoor Stadium in Shanghai, China. And we are going, like I said, we're going to break them all down. And no odds have dropped yet, but these are, you can get these odds pretty much at any book that you're looking around. But hopefully you go to mybookie.ag to get the odds. Thoughts on the weight classes we're doing today, Gumby?
You know me, I like the lighter weight classes anyway, but like when the heavier weight classes are 45 and 55, like no complaints at all, right? Like those are good heavier weight classes, not the silly ones. But there were a couple of guys who snuck through to the semifinals that I think could get exposed here. There's also, of course, an old fan favorite of our Discord who cashed at plus 455 last time, and who we will get at no such price this time. But I'm, of course, talking about Street Buddha. Who's not excited about Street Buddha? Yeah. He was so good. Sweatless 455. Sweatless 455. That's the best kind of 455. I think it was 29-27 on the judges' scorecards. I'm excited to see the second round of this. I always think this is a good source of content and a good source of potential prospects to the UFC.
For sure. And tomorrow's episode can be strange because UFC, for some reason, what we think, Gummies thinks, to get more eyeballs on the product, they have 2 normal UFC fights topping off the card tomorrow. So we got 4 tournament fights, and then Bruno Brazil is headlining in the main event. So, interesting, but we will cover that tomorrow. That is the lighter weight classes part of the tournament. All right, let's get you some plays. After I remind you, if you haven't already, download the SGPN app for all our picks and podcasts for free in one convenient place. So SGPN app, wherever you get your apps. All right, I laid it all out for you. Now we can actually dive into the plays, starting off with that feature fight I told you about at welterweight. Yoon Jang, he is from South Korea. Kitt, Campbell from Australia, not the United States, from Australia. They're fighting, like I said, feature bout, 3 5-minute rounds, 170. No odds have dropped, but they will be dropping if they haven't dropped by the time you hear this. Campbell is the killer Kitt Campbell. You shouldn't advertise you're a killer. He's 15-7, 9 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. He's 1-0 in road to UFC. He's won 3 straight and 5 of 6, 2 straight wins via TKO. He's not lost since May 2023. He has welterweight region championships on his
Example.
Correct. Get all our merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Used to fight at 155 and 185, 2013 pro MMA debut. He's 2-inch taller than Jang. Jang is 7-1, 3 knockouts, 1 submission. He has never been finished. That makes him durable. This is his debut in the road too. He's won 6 straight fights, last one via TKO. He's not lost since April 2022, and he's 8 years younger than Campbell.
So I think, Yoon Jang is going to come in here as the favorite. My guess is like the negative 170 range, maybe like plus 145 like Kitt Campbell. And I'm going to kick this one off with an underdog. So Kitt Campbell, this is his second feature fight for Road to the UFC. He was actually on their last set of episodes. Like it was like 3, 4. He had a feature fight on there, looked great, picked up a knockout win. And like, if you go back and you look at some of his older fights, the thing I like about him is his physicality. You know, he's first of all a veteran. Like you could be the type of guy who like blitzes people and tries to get them into a brawl, but he's very smart, keeps himself out of that. And then like he can grind when he needs to, right? Like we saw him, granted, he did eventually lose the fight to Kevin Jousset, but Kevin Jousset in the UFC now spent a lot of that fight pinned against the cage by Kitt Campbell, who's just like a tough grinder. And I like that about his style. Along with the fact that he doesn't get drawn into fights he doesn't belong in. And on the other side, Jang, you know, he is coming off of a bunch of wins in a row and against 2 UFC veterans back-to-back. He beat DJ Abe and he beat Takashi Sato in his last 2 fights. But if you watch the fight with Sato, he wins a decision, which like Sato seems confused about why the decision didn't go his way. I think the judges mostly got it right, but like it was close. And the biggest piece of it, and the reason why maybe Sato didn't understand, was Sato spent a lot of that fight pinning Jang up against the cage. So Yoon Sung Jang is having trouble getting himself out the cage, being the more physical guy. And now he's up against the guy who like excels at doing that thing, right? Like Kitt Campbell, that's what he's maybe best at. Plus he can hurt you with the hands too, on top of all of that. So like for a guy who couldn't really grapple with Takashi Sato or struggled with the grappling of Takashi Sato, now seeing an upgrade and not a guy who, you know, I think of as, you know, Takashi Sato, you know, we thought about him just being that guy who threw big bombs for most of his fights in the UFC, right? And you watch that fight with Jang, he's like, he judo hip tosses him one time. There's an inside trip in there. There's like all kinds of things that show you that I think he's going to have trouble with the grappling of Kitt Campbell. So despite the fact that he's got some ground and pound finishes in his own right, I do think that Jang is going to struggle with the grappling of Campbell, and I'll take Campbell hopefully as an underdog here.
All right. You were saying plus 1 what?
I said 45 was my guess.
Plus 145. Okay, cool. We'll take it. Like I said, we'll take any kind of dog money we can get. Let me see what the Tapologists think. They have 26% on Campbell, so not that great. So maybe it's going to be right where you're hoping it will be. All right, let's move on up the old fight card. We got some tournament fights now. And these are, as I said off top, semifinal fights. And we're doing the heavier weight classes on today's show. Tomorrow we shall do the lighter ones. This one is the semifinals for featherweight. Chang Min Yoon, he is from South Korea. Sebastian Szalay, he is from Australia. 3 5-minute rounds. Let's break her down by telling you about Szalay. Is that how you say it, Gumby? Szalay? Szalay. You can call him Seb Szalay. He is 9-1, 1 knockout, 1 submission, never been finished himself. He owes us some finishes. 1-0 road to UFC. He's won 8 straight. He's not lost since February 2021. He's regional champ. He used to fight at 155. Yoon, the big heart. As I said before, is this a genetic issue he's talking about? Is it a birth defect, or what's going on here? The big heart. 8-2-1, 1 knockout, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 1-0 road to UFC. He's won 3-0-1 over his last 4, including winning his last bout. He's not lost since November 2021. He went 7-2-1 championship, which is the biggest promotion in the world. We can still say that for a little bit longer, right? He's fight at 155. He's an inch taller than Szalay. He's got 4 inches of reach on him.
I'm going to go Szalay. I think he's going to be like a negative 275 favorite. If you watch Chang Min Yoon into the first round, you know, he's up against the guy who like very much struggled with the understanding of how to develop and to maintain range, kept crashing into the clinch. Yoon kept getting upper body locks. And like, not that an upper body lock takedown doesn't work in MMA, right? Like, you know, go back a couple of fights and I think it was Lazaro Dayron, who I was talking about with like fun inside trips and stuff like that. If you got good inside trips, you've got like, you know, some judo in there or something like that that makes it work, that's fine. When you're just running people down with the top body lock because you're stronger than them, I tend to think it's like kind of a BS takedown. And that's like, seems like a lot of what Yoon was working with is like getting an upper body clinch and just being the better athlete than the guy he was fighting. And I think 2 problems with that when he fights Szalay, and this is probably why Szalay will be the favorite, is first of all, Szalay, he's good at establishing range. He's really patient on the feet. He works his jab. He slowly builds himself into being comfortable. And he has a good sense of it from the onset, but it also clearly develops it as he goes as well. So he's getting better and better as the fight goes on. And then in addition to that, I don't know that Yoon is stronger than him. So even if he were to mess up and wind up in an upper body clinch, I don't think Yoon can just run him down without digging into some real technique. And we saw with Szalay in his last fight, when somebody shot a double on him, he had smart underhooks. He immediately got in underneath, pushed away, forced him to strike with him. And so the idea of Yoon ever even getting in on an upper body lock here seems kind of far-fetched, right? Because if Szalay on doubles does a good job of getting underhooks, heading into a clinch, what chance does Yoon have in getting double underhooks, right? He's not even changing levels. He's just, sort of crashing into him there. So I think Szalay probably, first of all, doesn't crash into him at all, probably picks him apart from range. And then when Yoon tries to force that stuff, I think Szalay is good enough to get away from it. So I think he's going to be a sizable favorite. He looked a lot better in his first fight than I think Yoon did. So give me Sebastian Szalay.
All right. You said minus 275. Let's see what the other experts think. They have Szalay. Where is Szalay? 88%. So yeah, you're probably right. Sadly. All right. But a win's a win, ladies and gentlemen. Before we move on with more plays, let me tell you about mybookie.ag. We are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet in every sport, including MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course, football futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. They have easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out all the lines. They will have Road to UFC up there. So head to mybookie.ag. Use our promo code when you sign up, MMA SGPN. That way you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN. And Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm's power trends are now called smart signals. Rhythm continues to crush it with smart signals, essentially the best of what their house model has to offer. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Smart signals are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. MLB smart signals are crushing it. Mike Trout and Giancarlo Stanton are combined 14-0 on smart signals, recommending their unders. In WNBA smart signals in July went 97-65, which was a ROI of 15.64%. These are so good that our boys, Scott and Adam, literally were booted off one of their bookie accounts for winning too much. So download the Rhythm app, check out smart signals, and start betting smarter. We will be. All right, Gumby, you have some words of wisdom from smart signals?
Yeah, on Sunday they got me hooked on Jansen Junk, who's, by the way, has one of the best names in baseball. Yep. But they got me hooked on Jansen Junk as he went to go pitch against the Red Sox, and he came in half projection on his strikeouts. He had 6 exactly in 7 innings of work. Worked deep, beat the Red Sox, and that was all because Rhythm told me to.
And guess who also had him? Me. I wrote an article about it.
Jansen Junk, man. He's Jansen not bad.
No. And the Red Sox strike out a lot. And I said with the last name like that, he should only throw
But he's a fastball guy. It's so disappointing.
It's not fun. He should be throwing EFIS pitches, for crying out loud. Anyhow, that's our baseball talk for this episode. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM. Yeah, you should, whatever your last name is, that's what you should do. Like, I'm a Fox, obviously. All right, we did that. We are moving on to the aforementioned Street Buddha. All right, this is one half of the 155 semifinals. Dom Mar Fan, aka Street Buddha. He's from Australia. He's fighting Jae Hyun Park from South Korea. South Korea is dominating here. 3 5-minute rounds, 155. We tell you about.
Although I've gone 0 for 2 in picking South Korean dudes. I'm now just realizing.
Come on, Jang. Jang is going to give you.
Last time I only picked South Korean dudes, I think, and we're 0 for 2 and a Don Mar fam away right now.
The first prospect is Park's nickname. Interesting. 8-3, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 1-0 road to UFC. He's won 2 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. Both of his past 2 wins via finish. He's a regional champ. He's a year younger than Fan. Street Buddha is 7-2, 1 knockout, 3 submissions. He's been submitted twice. 1-0 road to UFC. He's won 3 straight and 6 of 7. 3 inches of height over Park, 2 inches of reach advantage over him.
I'm going Don Mar fam, of course.
Of course.
Not just because he was the guy who like did the thing for us last time with the ridiculous odds, but because of the way he does it. You know, he's just a grinder. He's a dude who puts together really gritty performances. You mentioned the record. What was it, 8-2 for Don Marfam? And
7-2. 8-2 after Friday.
After Friday. And you were, I don't know if you remember me breaking this down last time when we were laughing at the fact that he has 6-2 record. And I was like, look, he's going to be a huge underdog. And people aren't taking into account the losses. And do you remember the losses? 2 submission losses.
Of course, I don't remember.
So he lost to Killian Salkilled, and he lost to Killian Salkilled. That's the only guy this dude has ever lost to. And like, people are knocking the record because he was 6-2, and it's like 6-2 with 2 losses to an absolute beast in the UFC right now. And he he held his own in the grappling, at least in the first of those 2 fights. I can't remember the second one as well. But look, he's a grinder. He's really good on the ground. It's damn near impossible to get out from underneath this guy once he's got you down. He's really good with his jiu-jitsu positionally. And then like on the other side, Park is just not that. You know, we saw him get taken down by Jack Becker in his last fight. And granted, he did come back and win that fight. But like when he got taken down by Jack Becker, it was like not a lot of fundamentals in the stand-up, a lot of power. You know, similar to what I was saying about Chang Yoon, like a lot of power in his situations and maybe not necessarily a lot of technique. And then like he eventually got his own takedowns, but I'm not sure I want to like rate his takedown level high because all of his takedowns came when like Jack Becker like jumped a guillotine every time he ducked his head down. And so like, he didn't have to finish the takedown. He just had to show him he was going to do it. And Becker was like, cool, let's go. So like, you know, I don't really love that about Park. And like, if he shoots a takedown here on Fam, like I think he's going to get stuffed and kind of shown up. And on top of that, look, Don Marfam had to stand for some level in that last fight with Ep894. And like, that is a way better striker than Jae Hyun Park is. Like, so we've seen him deal with a better striker. He is the better grappler in this fight. What not to like about him? Now, as far as what the odds are, I'm having a tough time gauging this one because in my mind, everybody saw his first performance and is like, this dude's the best fighter ever. And now everybody's crazy hyped on Don Marfam. I don't know that that's true, right? But like, if it is, he could be like -250, -275 here. If I'm conflating like how much people actually cared about his first fight, because I cared deeply about it, I'm maybe 175 instead.
All right. Tapologists who would know about this stuff are in on him. 86% are in on him, but
so we're probably closer to the 300 mark than the 200 mark.
Yeah, but they're the ones that actually know this stuff, not necessarily. I guess the people, you would hope the people that are betting on it know too, but we'll see. We shall see. We can just speculate at this point, right? We are moving on up the old fight card. Another tournament fight, obviously. This one is at 155, so the other half. Yawei Ren, he is from China. Sang-uk Kim, he is from South Korea. 155, 3 5-minute rounds. Kim is Frogman. So many good nicknames here. Frogman's a very good one. 12-3, 5 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. He's very durable. 2-1 road to UFC. So this is his second season he's been on. He's won 3 straight and 6 of 7. TKO win in his last bout. He's not lost since August 2023. Used to fight at 170. 3 inches taller than Yawei, 4 inches of reach on him. Yawei is 9-3, 6 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been submitted once. Durable. 1-0 road to UFC. He's won 5 straight, 2 straight via finish. He's not lost since April 2023. 1-1 as a pro kickboxer, 5 years younger than Kim.
I swear I didn't think about their nationalities before I made these picks.
Oh,
because I realized I just went 0 for 4 on South Koreans. But the last time I did it, I pretty much only picked South Koreans. And they're all here. That's so like obviously, yeah, they got here, which is important. But I think he's gonna have a tough time here. Sang-uk Kim, a guy who was on road to the UFC before. Looked pretty good in his first fight this year. I think maybe my biggest problem with how he looked in his first fight this year is like he looked really bad in the first round. He shot from way too far away. He looked like he was trying to press himself into striking more and like tricking him so that he could shoot the takedown. And then the takedowns didn't look very good. He got pieced up in the first round, or at least pieces of the first round. Then the second round came around and his opponent had negative gas tank and was just completely gone. And he pieced him up on the feet and won that fight. But I was like, but what does that tell me about Kim, right? Like maybe he could push a pace, but like it doesn't tell me that he's good. He could pilot on a guy who's exhausted, and I don't think Yawei Ren is going to be the type of guy who gets exhausted. He is so fast on the feet. His 1-2 combination, really nice. But even better than that is when he kicks. It is so fast. Both to the body, to the legs. He's just a guy who does really good stuff. And then on top of that too, like he was it a guillotine he won by last time? He went like palm to palm on the guillotine and rotated to top mount, similar to the way that like Tim Elliott did. Granted, Tim Elliott's wasn't a palm to palm one. That was like the more standard guillotine, but he had like a palm to palm guillotine in there that he like wound up in mount, and like, so his grappling skills are there if somebody takes a bad shot too, right? And Kim, like I just said, takes some early bad shots, particularly when he's kind of trying to force the issue. So I think for me here, I think Ren is way better on the feet. I think the amount of time it took Kim to get going in his last fight is alarming to me. I think Ren is just going to piece him up. So give me Yawei Ren. I don't think I mentioned odds, but I bet you Kim, being that he got as deep in the tournament last time as he did, I bet you he comes in here as a favorite. So I'm going to say like maybe -160 for Kim and like +140 for Ren.
Cool. And you're taking the dog.
I'm going to take the dog.
That's what we like to see. Let's see if Tapology agrees with taking the dog. They are taking 21% or taking Ren. So there you go.
Might even be a little bigger than +140.
Yeah, you might get a better line than you hope. All right. Before we dive into the last play, let me tell you about Circa, the world's greatest sports book. Circa Las Vegas is hosting the world's biggest pro football contest. That would be Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and Circa Grandissimo, with over $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Can't call yourself a true degen if you're not competing in the Circa football contest. Come hang out with SGPN at the Circa contest weekend, August the 21st to 23rd, for an amazing weekend, including live shows and open bars. Plus, you get 15% off a stay at the Circa with promo code SGP15. The contests are open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. And Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog is also a great place to play Pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry, maybe with this play Gummy's going to give you. Michael Harris II.
No, I'm gonna go with Contender Series stuff. They got Contender Series stuff on there, my man.
Nice.
And I'm gonna right now they're mostly focused on fight times for those ones, so I'm gonna take the lower on the 12.5 minutes for Jose Delano. If you want to hear more about why I like Jose Delano and why I think that fight might not take the full 15 minutes, you can go back to our episode on Dana White's Contender Series 2 and hear about Hicks.
All right. Yes, you definitely can do that. All right. Plus, Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our code MMASGPN. So make sure you use our code. All right. We are to our main event of our episode. Not of the evening, but of the morning, I guess it is for most of us. The episode, that will be the other half of the featherweight semifinal bout. Kaiwen Lee, he is from China. Keiichiro Nakamura, he is from Japan. They are fighting, like I said, at featherweight, 3 5-minute rounds. Winner goes to the finals. And we'll tell you about Nakamura first. 6-1 with 6 knockouts. He's been submitted once. He owes his rounds. 1-0 road to UFC. He has won 6 straight fights. He's not lost since April 2022. He's 3 years younger than Kaiwen, and he's got an inch of reach advantage over him. The Chinese fighter Kaiwen is the underdog. I don't know if he is or not. We'll see. 15-6.
I don't think so. I'm going to say he's the favorite here.
15-6, 8 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted once. 3-1 road to UFC, so this is his second go around as well. He's won 3 straight and 5 of 6. TKO win in his last bout. 9-3 1 championship, the biggest promotion in history of mankind. He's fought at 155 and 176, and he's been fighting since 2014, and he has an inch of height over Nakamura.
Yeah, and I think Kaiwen Lee slight favorite. Probably not a big one. Okay. We'll say like -135, and I like Kaiwen Lee here. The thing I like best about him is the level of aggression, and I think that's the differentiator in this fight. Nakamura, like overly patient and cautious on the feet at times. And like, if I'm going to be honest, in that last fight that he won to get here, I think I hinted at it at the top of the show, kind of lucky in the way that he got there. Like, not that he wasn't winning, but he was like so complacent. The other guy seemed to have tagged him. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy, but I'm not going to. you know, the other guy kind of tagged him, shot in on a takedown for some reason, because that's what people do when they hurt people. And ate a knee.
It drives me nuts. Nuts.
And then he ate a knee because like Nakamura knew he was going to do that, right? Like, so he hurt him, and then, you know, Nakamura's back against the cage, and he just picks up his knee and knocks him out. And like, okay, you win, you get to go to the next level. I can't take that win away from you, but it also doesn't impress me because it like looks like you were getting beat. And with Kaiwen Lee, like he is aggressive, but he's not like stupidly aggressive and then he's going to shoot a takedown when he's down. Like he's a guy who sits heavy on his legs and comes with volume. You know, he throws a lot. He weirdly has this stance where like his right hand, because he's a southpaw, both these guys are southpaws. He has this stance where his right hand is like really outstretched, like he's not like protecting his face. It's like he's in like an old-timey boxer's pose almost. But he does a good job of protecting his face with the backhand, and he rolls with his shoulders really well to prevent the front side. So I like that about his defensive side. And then like he generates a lot of power, like I said, because he's not bouncing on his feet all the time. He sits in and tries to like absolutely hammer you with shots. He does blitz a little bit. I think that could be an opportunity for Nakamura to find some goofy counter. But I think like the passivity of Nakamura and how much he just like often wants to circle away from those situations rather than like see if he can get it back for himself. I think that plays poorly against Kaiwen Lee. So I'm expecting Kaiwen Lee to be the aggressor here, be the guy who's doing the damage. And I'm expecting Nakamura to kind of just like let him do that.
All right. Does it change your pick at all to know that Nakamura, his first pro fight, he headlined a fight card called Pound Storm? Does that change?
Pound Storm?
Yes.
That's better than Dog Tower, man.
It is definitely.
Pound Storm.
Pound Storm.
I think I think that's one of the videos that you rented from the store the other night.
Exactly. Rented. Gumby's showing his age. And he also fought Pound Out 1, which I think might be the Pound Storm. So, yep.
That's the sequel, I think.
That is it. Got to be a sequel. All right, Gumby's got Kaiwen. He has got Yawei. He has got Street Buddha, aka Fan. He has got Szalay. He has got Campbell.
I got three Aussies there to kick it off.
Yeah, Aussie. You're fading the South Koreans. You're all in on the Aussies here. All right, you can chat with us about this and so much more in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We can be found on YouTube, obviously. Maybe you're watching us right now, MMA Gambling Podcast. Thank you for subscribing and commenting. MMA SGPN, so MMA SGPN on the old Twitter. No, SGPN MMA, we are there, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting all confused. SGPN MMA on Twitter. Gumby runs that. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram. Check out my Substack. Enter my free UFC pick'em contests for this weekend at moneymma.substack.com. Listen to more Gumby. Top Turtle MMA, who is on it this week?
We got Jang, who's fighting at UFC Shanghai. And then we also got Chasen Blair, who will be on Contender Series a little later on.
All right, so check that out. Of course, we can be found at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store for your merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We'll be back tomorrow because we're pretty much coming every day this week until the weekend hits. It'll be Frogman, Jeff Fox, Street Buddha, Gumby Vreeland. Adios.